Good evening, Chicago, and welcome back in to Chi-Town Weekly here on Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am your host, Adam Karnick. We have got a ton on tap for you here tonight. The Bulls are once again in the play-in tournament, needing to win 2 games this week to actually get into the NBA playoffs. Will the third time finally be the charm for Billy Donovan and the Bulls? The WNBA draft is going on right now during the show. We will keep an eye on that. We'll see who the Sky take. They've got 2 picks in the first round, 10 and 11. So we'll keep an eye on that, and as they come up, we'll let you know who the latest members of the Chicago Sky are. It's a big weekend for both sides of town for baseball. The White Sox and the Cubs. We'll be breaking that down, all the good and the bad from both sides of town, celebrating things there. And then, of course, the NFL draft is only 10 days away. We've got more thoughts on that as Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson get ready for the most recent, most important draft in franchise history. All that and more coming up right here, right now on Chi-Town Weekly. Buckle on up, everybody. Let's have some fun. Let's go. And hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. I am your host, Adam Karnick. So glad that you have found your way into Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We have got a lot going on in the show for you here tonight. Going to be talking a lot of everything. Some basketball to start things off. We're going to be getting into baseball. And then, of course, we will be talking NFL draft, but also the WNBA draft is going on right now as we speak. So we'll be keeping our eye on that as well. Lots to go, lots to get into. We're going to start things off tonight, kick things off with the Chicago Bulls as they get ready for their third appearance in the NBA's play-in tournament in 3 years. Will the third time finally be the charm? That's where we're going to start the show tonight. But first, a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll dive right into it. This is Chi-Town Weekly on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be right back after this. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick here back with you. Thank you again to each and every one of our sponsors. Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky. Go to planetjerky.net to check them out. Vital Apparel, go to vitalapparel.com to check them out, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Go to vitalapparel.com to check them out. Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You know that whenever you send something in the mail or have some letters or anything personalized, you may as well personalize a little bit more, put your own seal or stamp of approval on it, let everybody know that it comes indeed from you. Go to iesportsradio.com/seal the deal wax seals. And I also want to say thank you to Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to getrawnutrition.com, use the promo code IESR for 10% off of your order there as well. You heard from IE Sports Radio, all the ways that the network is available on social media. Follow along on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, as well as YouTube. Just search at IE Sports Radio. This show is also available for you on social media as well. On Twitter, we are at IESRC, or you can also follow along with me personally. I am at Adam_Karnick. And if you are a regular listener to the show, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Or if you're new to the show and wondering what this is, well, welcome in. I'm glad that you are here. We're going to be talking a lot of different things tonight, but I want to also let you know about the Supporters Club. It's part of Spreaker.com, where you can listen to all of the shows as a podcast after the fact. If you're not able to listen live across Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you can always go to Spreaker.com and catch the latest episode. I upload it usually within minutes of going off the air, certainly within an hour or two of the show going off the air. It is uploaded to Spreaker as a podcast. You can share the love, spread it around to people. You can also go to the Supporters Club, go to Spreaker.com/podcast/Chi-Town Weekly. And for $5 a month, you can show your love and support to the show. Then I will generate and create content specifically for you as a way to say thank you as well. You want to dive into a specific some specific story or a particular storyline or a team or something that you wanted to hear me go a little bit more in depth on, I'm happy to do that for you. You want me to do a shout out of some kind, I'm happy to do that. Or we can go some back and forth there as well. But it's just a little way for you to show some support for me and me to show a little love your way as well. So check out the Supporters Club. All right. And thank you to everybody watching the show live tonight, again, across Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. If you are, you can hop into the chat room, drop a comment, let us know that you're here. Taryn Rodriguez, good evening, Adam. I'm going to try to have an awesome show. And then Ralph Calise is also here. Ralph, saying that there might be a worse team out there than the White Sox this season. The Pittsburgh Pirates will have to have that debate a little bit later on. But yes, the Pirates off to a rough start to their season. I still think the White Sox will ultimately have them when all is said and done, but we'll get into that in a little bit here. Wanted to start the show off tonight with the Chicago Bulls. They wrapped up the regular season over the weekend, finishing 39-43, ninth place in the East for the third year in a row. That means that the Bulls will be taking part in the NBA's play-in tournament, and also for the third year in a row, the Bulls will need to win twice in the play-in tournament to advance. Oh, good evening, Wes Trueblood. Yeah, back on YouTube. Yeah, glad to be back as well. I know that's an easy one for everybody. Glad to see you back as well. We'll be diving into some Bears draft discussion a little bit later on in the episode. Lots to get into there as well. So like I said, spraying to all fields, but we're going to start off with the Bulls tonight. Winners over the weekend on Sunday. They beat the 76ers last night, 122-102. They also beat up on the Wizards on Friday night, 119-89. And then most relevant coming up, last Wednesday, beat the Heat 119-111. That's most relevant because that is the team that the Bulls will draw in that first round of the play-in tournament Wednesday night, 6:30 Central Time, or rather, 6:30 Central Time at United Center, in once again an effort to try to get into the playoffs proper. It does feel a little different this time, though, with the Bulls, and that's simply because they have been so much better as of late. I looked it up right before doing the show tonight. I wanted to make sure that I had my numbers right. The Bulls overall 39-43, 4 games under 500 in the season, but they've been a lot better than that as of late. Coming into March 1st, their record back on March 1st of this season, They had the day off. They beat the Raptors on February 28th, 125 to 115. That got them to 24 and 36. So since the end of February, they've been 15 and 7. That's a marked improvement over what their overall record would suggest that they are. And we've started to see some real progress being made with some of the key players. Josh Giddey, Modest Bazelis, really starting to come forward, come into their own a bit here. Yeah, there were still blowout losses to the legit teams, getting absolutely drubbed by the Cavaliers a couple of times in there, 139 to 117 and 135 to 113 in their two games played in the back half of the in the final portions of the season. But there were good quality wins in there too. 146 to 115 over the Lakers in Los Angeles. And then of course the big one with Josh Giddey hitting the half court shot at the buzzer to beat the Lakers. Some dominant performances over the Raptors and the Hornets to close out the regular season. Beating the Heat, again, the team that they're going to face here in the first round of the play-in tournament. 3 games against the Heat this season, and the Bulls won all 3 of those. The closest one back on March 8th was a 5-point win down in Miami, but you're talking about an 8-point victory here just about a week ago, and then an 11-point win back in February. So all relatively recent victories for the Bulls against the Heat. And good tidings coming out of that, bearing good things for the Bulls. So I do think they'll make it out of the 9-10 game. And then once again, you've got they'll take on the loser of Hawks Magic. Now let's talk about those a little bit. How have they done against the Atlanta Hawks and the Orlando Magic? Against the Orlando Magic this season, the Bulls won the season series 2 games out of 3. Most recently, about a month and a half ago down in Orlando, gutted out a 2-point win over the Magic. I think that could be a very tight and very close game, but there's no reason why the Bulls couldn't beat the Magic in a winner take all. We have seen them do that. They've had success there both in Orlando and in Chicago against the Magic this season. That would be down in Orlando. For the Hawks, it's a little bit different. First of all, they haven't played in 3 months. The last time the Hawks and Bulls played was back on January the 15th. They split the regular season 4 games. They split them 2 games apiece. The Bulls took the first 2, and then the Hawks took the last 2. So I think there's a good chance. I think that there is a good chance for the Bulls to finally get out of the play. And I think absolutely they'll take care of the Heat on Wednesday night in Chicago. Would you rather play Atlanta or Orlando? That's the tricky one. That's the tricky one right now for the Bulls. I think I'd rather play the Magic. I think if I'm the Bulls, I also, though, I honestly don't know how much it matters, really. When all is said and told, I'm not sure. Atlanta was a little, on the whole, Atlanta won its final 3 games to close out the season, but also was just 5-5 in its last 10. Orlando, meanwhile, yes, lost its final game, but won 7 out of its final 10 to close out the season. So you could only to get, you could look at it one of a couple ways. And then Mike posting on Twitter, Bulls are going to get that A seed, only get it shelled by the Cavs. Absolutely, unequivocally, that is 1,000% correct. There is absolutely no way that the Bulls get past Cleveland should they make it into the first round of the playoffs. There's no way that they'll get past the Cavaliers. That was why it was so much I wanted to have. I wanted to see the Bulls somehow get into that 7-8 game so that they'd at least have a chance of getting the 7 seed and then facing Boston instead of Cleveland. Not that it necessarily would go a whole lot better against the Celtics, but it's going to go poorly against the Cavaliers. So at least you'd have a slightly better chance. Now, Mike, looking to trade anybody some extra seconds. Sure. Nikola Vucevic, I'd be happy to trade him at this point. Lonzo Ball, I think they'd still be okay moving him at this point. Just to try to free up some cash. That's part of the problem with this Bulls team on the whole, is they have so much money tied up that there's really nothing they could do in free agency. They absolutely have to hit in the draft. They have to draft well. They've got to have things go well for them in the draft. It's the only way that this thing is going to get any better anytime soon for the Bulls. Is they simply have to draft well, or find somebody willing to take on some of these bloated deals and bloated contracts, and you'd get whatever you can for them so that you can free up some cash, We are going to take for ourselves just a real quick break, and that is simply because the WNBA draft is going on tonight as well. And I see that the Los Angeles Sparks are currently on the clock at 9. The Sky will be picking at both 10 and 11. So we'll take a quick break right here, right now, and then we'll come back and we will kind of in real time, we will see who the Chicago Sky take in the first round of the WNBA draft, and we'll react to that, and we'll get some reaction from that. You are listening to Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Lentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
What's up, guys? If you're looking for the best coverage of all Northern California sports, including 49ers, Giants, Warriors, then check out the NorCal Sports Report with yours truly, Andre Fernandez, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We have guests every single week talking 49ers, Giants, Warriors, Sharks, San Jose Earthquakes, and a whole lot more, plus 3C2A. You do not want to miss this show. So tune in Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time to the NorCal Sports Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick back with you here, doing things a little bit differently tonight. We're going to took the break just a little bit earlier than we normally do. That is because the WNBA draft is going on right now as we are doing the show, and the Chicago Sky are just about ready to be on the clock. Jeff Pagliocca made a move late last night to give the Sky an extra first round pick tonight. They had a deal with Minnesota where Minnesota had the rights to a first round pick swap in next year's draft in the 2026 first round. Pagliocca worked out a deal with Minnesota to convert that from a pick swap to simply Minnesota owns Chicago's first round pick, but in response, Chicago got the number 11 pick from Minnesota tonight. So converted a 2026 pick that potentially that wouldn't have been theirs anyway into a guaranteed pick at number 11 in this year's draft. So we'll kind of set the stage for you here a little bit. We'll go through the players that have the players that have been picked. Of course, number 1 overall was Paige Buchers out of UConn. Number 1 to Dallas. Absolutely no surprise there whatsoever. She was going to be the number 1 pick. It was simply a question of who was going to have that pick. No surprise there at all. Then Dominique Malona out of France went 2nd overall to Seattle. Then Washington had a pair of picks back to back. Sonia Citron had the went number 3 overall to Washington. That was the pick that originally was Chicago's. They had made a trade with Washington earlier in the offseason. So Sonia Citron goes to the Washington Mystics out of the University of Notre Dame. And then at 4 overall, Washington again, Kiki Irfan, power forward out of USC, goes 4 overall to Washington. Then we've had Justa Josette out of Lithuania, a 6 foot tall shooting guard, went at number 5 overall. That's got to be the Golden State team, because that is a logo that I just absolutely don't recognize. Then at 6 overall, Washington again on the clock, 3 picks in the first round for the Mystics. Georgia Amoore out of Kentucky, the point guard out of Kentucky, went to the Mystics. And then the Connecticut Sun, back-to-back picks at 7 and 8. They took power forward Anisha Morrow out of LSU. And then at number 8 overall, Sonia Rivers out of North Carolina State. And that was a player that I know Jeff Pagliocca had his eyes on in the first round for Chicago. Mike Pett, yeah, not a bad trip at all for the Mystics. Three picks in the top 6. You'll absolutely take that. And thank you, Taryn. That logo that I was not recognizing, that is indeed the Golden State Valkyries, the newest member of the WNBA. So we are at this point, we are waiting, and now the pick is officially in from Los Angeles. The Sparks took Sarah Ashley Barker, the shooting guard, the 6 foot tall shooting guard out of the University of Alabama. So we've had, to this point, we have had 5 guards go off the board with the first 9 picks. We'll see now what Chicago has in stock as the Sky are on the clock. I really everything you're looking to build around Angel Reese and Carmina Cordosa as well. You're just looking to continue to build around those 2 stars. Haley Van Lith has not been taken. I see Taryn asking that question. Van Lith is still on the board, the point guard out of Texas Christian, and Mike Pat is commenting that, hey, she's still on the board. That's a tantalizing pick, and that would seem to make a lot of sense. According to ESPN, she's the number 2 overall point guard in this class and the 6th overall prospect in this class. So that would certainly make a ton of sense, especially the Sky. You don't have a long-term answer at the point guard spot. It's nice to see that you've got Courtney Vandersloot back. That's outstanding. That's wonderful. That's going to be a terrific addition overall for the Sky to have Sloot, the assist queen, back on the Sky, but to have somebody like a Haley Van Lith that you can have be the understudy, if you will, that would make a ton of sense for the Sky. You've also got Sedona Prince, the TCU center, on the board. That doesn't make as much sense. Other point guards, you've got Cheyenne Sellers out of Maryland, 6'2" point guard out of Maryland, a little bit bigger of a point guard if you want some size there. Or you could look at Isaiah James, the shooting guard out of North Carolina State. If you're looking for somebody with a little bit more pop in their shot. I am seeing the notification. Looks like we're seeing from ESPN that the pick is in. So we'll at the very least see who the number 10 pick is here in just a moment. And then the Sky are turn right back around, and they are on the clock right away again at 11. So these picks go if you're not familiar, the WNBA draft goes relatively fast. They only give them about 2 minutes for a pick. It's kind of similar to most leagues' fantasy football drafts, where you have about a minute or 2 on the clock to make a pick. Mike pointing out that Van Lith or Cheyenne Sellers, either one would make sense. Would make a lot of sense for the Sky. Just get that backcourt presence there. Really need to do that. And the pick is in, and instead they went a little different. They went a little different there. Instead, the Sky take 6'4" power forward Asia Svilka out of Slovenia. According to ESPN, she was the 13th overall prospect in this class, the 4th best prospect at the power forward spot. She did get a spot on the Slovenian national team at the age of 15. She was the FIBA under 18 Eurobasket MVP this past year. Let's see if we can get a little bit more on Asia Silka, the most recent draft pick of the Chicago Sky. She just turned 19 just a couple months ago. So she is a younger player. And 6'3" power forward. She played on the national team for the last several years. That's yes, front court presence. That's always great to have. You can never have, you need to, if you're the Sky, you need talent. You need it wherever you can get it. However you can get it. Pulling up a draft profile here on her from Tankathon a little bit here. They had her as the 12th best prospect on their big board. So a slight reach. I'm just help for Angel Reese. I guess that's how we will look at it. We will look at it there. She's been playing professionally for a couple of years now. Her first professional season was 2023-2024. Not a huge scorer at first. She's definitely, her scoring has picked up a little bit since she first started. She only just turned 19 5 months ago. She turned 19. So she is a young player to have on the team. So definitely somebody who you would hope and expect that her ceiling is very much, the future is very much in front of her. As Mike Pat points out, a lot of international players going so far in the first round. Yeah. I mean, you've got Dominique Malona out of France, Just Joyce out of Lithuania, and now Asia Sivka out of Slovenia going at 10 to the Sky. And we've got the pick at 11 is in as well. Again, Haley Van Lith is right there. So is Cheyenne Sellers. Either one of those you would feel like would make a ton of sense for the Sky. We'll see as they're coming up and they're getting ready to make it official and make the pick official here, as we're doing this in real time here. The Sky do have two more picks tonight in the second round. We'll have a recap of those. If not tonight, we'll recap those a little bit next week and do a full draft analysis for you on the Sky next week. But just looking to get this number 11 pick in here at this point and get an idea of who they took with their two first round selections. See what Jeff Pagliocca is going to do here. His second draft with the organization. So seeing what he can cook up and whip up here. Just waiting on it to come in. All right. Well, we will have that on the flip side of who they do with their 11th pick, as it's taken a little while to come in, and we don't want to just sit here with dead air. So we will take for ourselves one more quick break. We will react to the second first-round pick that the Sky are making tonight, and then we're going to talk more draft with the Chicago Bears in the NFL, and we'll also talk some baseball, some White Sox and Cubs talk as well, all coming up next here on Chi-Town Weekly, part of IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Big Mike from Indie Sports Nation. Come hang out with me each and every Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk things Indiana sports. We talk Colts, Pacers, Fever, Indian Night, and we dive into the college scene as well. Boilermakers, Hoosiers, Irish, Bulldogs, and every school in between. And we don't stop there. We'll sprinkle in some NHRA and cover the IndyCar series. From the turf to the hardwood to the track, we got you covered. Come hang out with your boy, Big Mike, each and every Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Indie Sports Nation, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into Chi-Town Weekly here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick back with you for, about another 15 minutes or so on the show. Well, we're still waiting for the pick to come in officially at number 11. So while we do that, and I know I see Taryn's getting a little over anxious too. Why, what are they waiting on? They had it listed as the pick was in before we took our break. We come back from the break and the pick still is not in for the Sky at number 11. So while we are waiting on that, we will just keep moving right along here a little bit. We'll let you know exactly what they do, and we'll welcome both of the two new women to Chicago. I want to talk a little bit of baseball. It was a good weekend over the weekend for both sides of town. The Chicago White Sox took 2 out of 3 from Boston. The Red Sox came into town. The White Sox being on an 8-game losing streak heading into the series, and knowing that Garrett Crochet was coming back to town, I fully expected this to be a sweep in the other direction, that the White Sox we'd be staring at an 11-game losing streak coming into tonight's show. But instead they got 2 very strong, well done performances. Friday night, the bats were going like crazy, but in both games, in both victories, the pitching staff did incredibly well. And even in the loss yesterday, you got good quality pitching out of the White Sox. Shane Smith yesterday, yes, he took the loss. 6 innings, gave up two runs. I will absolutely take that. 2 earned runs in 6 starts. That still qualifies as a quality start. I will absolutely take that every single time for the regardless who you're pitching for. That is good stuff there. And the bats came to life. Friday night you won 11-1. You had excellent at bats overall. Lenine Sosa 2 for 5. Michael Taylor 3 for 5 on the night and scored 3 runs. Chase Meadroth 1 for 1. He scored a couple of runs as well on Friday night. And again, talking the good pitching, Davis Martin, 6 innings, 1 run allowed, 6 strikeouts. You'll take that every single time. And then a walk-off on Saturday came back from being down 2-0 to win it in walk-off fashion on Saturday. You'll love it. You love it overall. And the bullpen did a good job. Not that 2 runs is a ton to give up. Martin Perez, you would have liked to have seen him go a little deeper into the game, 4 2/3 innings, but still only 2 earned runs. It was the walks that really hurt him in that instance. Just too many free passes giving up there. But then the fortitude and the stick with itness of the White Sox. And then yesterday, you knew that you never want to predict that a team is going to throw a no-hitter, that a pitcher's going to throw a no-hitter. But if there was ever a time where you thought, oh yeah, this guy's going to throw a no-hitter, it was Garrett Crochet yesterday in his first time back in Chicago facing the White Sox. Had you told me ahead of time, oh yeah, he's going to throw a no-hitter, I'd have said, okay, yeah, absolutely. I'd believe that wholeheartedly, 100%. Wholeheartedly, 100%. I would absolutely believe that. And so to see him go 7 1/3 without giving up a hit, it was very appropriate that it was Meadroth that broke it up, but still not surprising in the slightest, but still 2 out of 3 for the White Sox, a series victory in April. We did not see that a year ago, doubled the win total. Very, you love seeing it. All right. We do officially now have the pick in for the Sky. So we can go back to the WNBA draft for just a moment. And it is Haley Van Lith is the pick, the 2024 Big 12 Player of the Year, averaging just under 18 points a game and 5.5 assists per game. Point guard Haley Van Lith is the 11th overall pick and the 2nd selection by the Sky in this first round of the WNBA draft. That makes all the sense in the world. I like that pick. Yes, you have Courtney Vandersloot for this season, but probably this season and this season only. So you've got an understudy there, somebody that can learn and still give you very meaningful minutes and be a good addition, and somebody to be the floor general for this team and help set up Reese and Cardosa down low, just continuing to build around there. That makes a ton of sense. So I like that pick. I guess I would have preferred it. I like that pick better at 10 than 11, but ultimately, the beauty of having back-to-back picks is you can take them in whichever order you want. It really doesn't matter. So they get the job. They get the job done there. 2 more picks that they have this evening. We won't keep up on it because by the time they get to them, we'll probably be off the air tonight, but we will have a full wrap up next week on what the Sky did and do a little bit of a preview there of what they have. So then we have the Cubs. My goodness. What a start to the season the Chicago Cubs are having this year. They have yet to lose a series here in the States. They have now won 4 consecutive series after taking 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers in Chavez Ravine over the weekend, including on Saturday night, the biggest shutout that Chavez Ravine has ever witnessed for the Dodgers. 16-0 on Saturday night. And then the Cubs followed that up with a 4-2 win last night. And to me, the most impressive thing about both of those is not just that they put up 20 runs in 2 games against the Dodgers, winning the series by a combined score of 20-5 over the 3 games. But it's over these 2 games, as I'm going to check the box score from last night just to make sure I have this correct. Yes. Of those 20 runs, 18 of them came in the 6th inning or later. On Saturday night, 15 of the Cubs' 16 runs came in the 7th inning or later. Then you follow, that's $15 runs against the Dodgers bullpen on Saturday night. And then you follow that up with 2 runs against the bullpen, the winning 2 runs against the bullpen last night. Those games were very much hanging in the balance when the Cubs got those runs. Yes, absolutely. Saturday exploded on you. Saturday went crazy. But Sunday, that was a tight game all the way throughout. You have Pete Crow Armstrong hitting 2 home runs. Gosh, you hope that his bat can come around. That really, the Cubs need that from him. Everything else about him plays. If you can get in, they don't need to be home runs. He needs to get on base. He just needs to be a guy that can get on base with consistency. They're getting ready to take on the Padres here in just under an hour out in San Diego. But so much in the modern day for baseball, you don't score against bullpens. It's whatever damage you're going to do in that game, you've got to do it against the starter, because once you turn to the bullpen, that's it. It's over. It's everybody's throwing 100 miles an hour and it's all you can do just to get a guy on base, never mind to actually get him home. So it's not just that the Cubs put up 20 runs. It's that they put up the overwhelming result, the overwhelming number of those runs. 18 of the 20 runs came against the Dodgers bullpen. And those rallies started with the game very much in doubt. Unfortunately, the bad news for the Cubs was that Justin Steele is done for the year. We talked last week it had been announced that Justin Steele was going on the 15-day injured list with an elbow problem. Same elbow on his throwing hand, on his throwing arm, same issue he was dealing with a season ago. It was announced last night that Justin Steele is going to miss the season. He's going to have surgery on his elbow. They haven't announced what surgery, but it's a pitching elbow. The first thing, of course, that comes to everybody's mind is Tommy John surgery. They haven't announced that, but that's the first place your mind goes when they say that. So disappointing. Now, obviously, you've got a hole in your rotation. How do you fill it? Ben Brown did an excellent job on Saturday. If you can get that from him, boy, you'd love to have that in your rotation. I still feel like for Ben Brown, probably the bullpen is probably where he's going to end up, and that's probably where he'll be the most useful. You had Colin Rea pitching last night. He can do for a little while, but again, he's, is he better as a starter or as a long reliever? He's probably only going to give you 4 innings as a starter. Is that more useful as a starter, or is that more useful being a long reliever out of the bullpen? That's kind of the question there you've got to ask with him. And it probably depends on the situation. Sometimes it's great to have that starting where you just start with your long reliever and okay, it's going to be a bullpen day, but at least our first guy out of the chute is going to be a guy that can go 4 innings, can chew up almost half the game, so then the rest of your bullpen, you guys can just go an inning at a time. We might see Cade Horton. We might see Javier Assad come up out of the minors. We'll see what they do there. There was also a lot of talk on the national broadcast last night about the Cubs making a trade. I'd be shocked if somebody made a trade this early in the season. I think the calendar's got to at least turn over to May before somebody's going to send you a starter of any kind of consequence. But this front office of the Cubs knows that it's got to produce this year. So those farm arms aren't going to do you, those farm pieces aren't doing you anything right now. Whereas they might help you keep your job if they allow you to obtain a starter of significant consequence that allows you to lay a stranglehold on this National League Central. Because, make no doubt about it, the Cubs absolutely should be the early odds-on favorites at this point. They have the best run differential in all of baseball at plus 43. They are 11-7 here in April. Yes, it's early, but you look at the schedule they have had to this point. This is an impressive start to the season. You do not want to have it get derailed because you're going to be missing your ace for the remainder of the season. You can't go small here. If you're going to make a move, make a move. So we'll keep an eye on what the Cubs do there. And then real quick to wrap up the show here this evening, and a little bit different with the way the WNBA draft was going. I was originally thinking that the picks were going to be completely in by the time we did the show, and then it didn't quite working out that way. So we're flexible. That's okay. We bounce around. We flex around a little bit on the show. Did want to, of course, get in some Bears talk before we get out of here tonight. Big news came down yesterday. Kyler Gordon got a big contract extension, 3 years, $40 million, 31 and a quarter of that is fully guaranteed. Congratulations, Kyler. Good for him. The first draft pick that Ryan Poles ever made, he gets to hand out an extension to. That right there, I think, is a sign that Ryan Poles is doing well at the job. You know, that's some of the sign when you're not just when you're drafting guys, but when you're able to hand out second contracts to those guys. And Kyler now is the highest paid slot corner in the NFL. You know, this isn't just, all right, nobody else was willing to take him, so we'll bring him back. This was giving an extension and making a guy the highest paid at his position. And nobody is going, oh, what was that move? That was weird. And this is also being rubber stamped by a new coaching staff. You know, that was something I was thinking about this morning as I was reflecting on the news. Dennis Allen was singing Kyler Gordon's praises when he was introduced as the defensive coordinator. Jalen Johnson can't wait to be in this defense. Kyler Gordon's going to be excited. You know that Dennis Allen puts a lot on the shoulders and the plates of his defensive backs. And so to have two of them locked up for the foreseeable future and guys that were already here and the new staff saying, oh yeah, we can work with these guys. This is talent that we can work with, that we can play with. A little bit of validation for Ryan Poles in that as well. So if you're at all wondering about Ryan Poles as we're getting ready to go into this draft, I think this Kyler Gordon extension is something that can help kind of put your mind at ease that he is able to identify and get some talent. It's not to say that everything he's made has worked out, because obviously it hasn't for any general manager. But I think this is a nice one in the win column for Ryan Poles, the Kyler Gordon move, all said and told. Of course, the big thing, and we'll talk some more about this next week. What could Poles and the Bears do at number 10 overall? You know, we talked, you know, Luke Easterling was fantastic a week ago. If you missed any part of that, go to Spreaker.com. You can find the episode from last week and listen to the conversation I had with Luke Easterling. We talked a lot about the draft. I am still of the, I'm going to save my pick. I will make my pick a little bit later. I'm not going to make it tonight on the show. I'll tease you a couple spots where I'll make the pick. I am still feeling, though, at this point, like it's going to be a lineman of some kind at 10. I know that Ashton Genty is a very sexy pick for a lot of people because he could be the best running back. He's the best running back in this class, and he could be one of the best backs that we've seen come out for a while. Frankly, I don't think he's going to be on the board when the Bears pick, and I do not like the idea of trading up to get an Ashton Genty. Trading up in the first round for a running back just rubs me the wrong way. I'll put it that way. I'll put it like that. So if he's there at 10 and they take him, I'm not gonna be upset. I think before talking to Luke, I think I might have been, but I'm not going to be upset, but I don't think he's going to be there. And frankly, it's not what I would like to see. I would like to see the Bears still address the line. That, to me, you still have needs there on the line, left tackle on offense and pass rusher on the defensive line. I would love to see another pass rush. Those are just, if for no other reason, with good quality offensive linemen, if you want to get good ones, you have to take them in the first round, and predominantly you have to take them early in the first round. You're not going to find your left tackles or your premier pass rushers anywhere past the second round. And even in the second round, you're probably not going to find them. You need to get them in the first round, and typically early in the first round. This is a great class for pass rushers, and there is some talent. There's some good quality talent at left tackle as well at the top of this draft class. That's still where I would like to see the Bears go at 10. I'm not going to announce my pick yet. You want to know what I'm doing with the pick? Well, one way you can find out is, of course, tune in next week, same time, right here on IE Sports Radio. We will be talking a lot of Bears draft next week. Or there will be another opportunity this weekend. This weekend is the big IE Sports Radio NFL show that Larry B always does every year, where as a network, he and a lot of times Mike Pat will be with him on 3 and Out, and they will go through and they will predict the first round. And they don't do any trades. It is in order. And it is also my plan to be on that show this weekend as well. I was talking with Larry a little bit about it this afternoon. So we're lined up for that. So tune in to 3 and Out this Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Time. So first thing, start your day off. We will get you some draft coverage. We will go through the entire first round. So you'll hear me not just make the Bears pick, but make the entire first round as well. This Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Time, right here on YouTube, on Twitter. It'll be on the station's Twitch page. You'll be able to find it. And of course, you'll be able to listen later on Spreaker and all the other places where you get your podcasts. And then, of course, next week, Monday, we'll be right back here. We will be very much diving into the Chicago Bears draft. That is going to do it for our show here this evening. Big shout outs and thank yous, of course, to each one of our sponsors. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. They are still offering free shipping on all orders of $50 and above. Thank you also to Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Go to vitalapparel.com, use the promo code IESR, you get 15% off of your order. Seal the Deal Wax Deals. Have you sent out your taxes yet? Have sent out mail? There's going to be graduations coming up here soon, birthdays, events. Personalize it. Make everybody know without a shadow of a doubt that it's yours by giving it your personal seal of approval. Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Go to iesportsradio.com/seal the deal wax seals to place your order. Also want to say thank you to Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to getrawnutrition.com. Use the promo code IESR for 10% off of your order there. You're getting new workout equipment. You may as well get some supplements to maximize that workout. And of course, we want to say thank you to IE Sports Radio for providing the platform for the show. Follow them on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at IE Sports Radio is where you follow along. And we'll see you this Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning. I will be doing a special show with Larry B, and we'll see who else joins in as well. A special edition of 3 and Out, going through the entire draft, the first round. Until then, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you to everybody who's watching the show live across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And thank you to everybody who's listening later on as a podcast. I really do appreciate it. For IE Sports Radio, I am Adam Karnick. I hope you guys have a terrific night, terrific week. We'll see you hopefully Saturday morning, and if not, we'll see you right back here next Monday night. We'll be talking Bears draft. We'll be talking Sky draft. We'll be talking baseball. We'll see how far the Bulls have made it. Until then, have a great week. We'll see you next time, everybody.